guys, as much as it hurts me to say this, E3 2017 was a bust. It was a bust in a lot of ways. I am very disappointed in Microsoft and especially in Sony. I'm generally always disappointed in Nintendo's E3s. They generally do not really have E3s. They do their own thing that is very hard to describe. More power to them than Nintendo. Anyways, very disappointed overall in E3 2017, and I'll let you know why. But first, I want to go over some of the high points of the show. So, it wasn't all bad. The Xbox One X reveal was actually pretty good. It was very informative. They built some hype going in. They announced that it's coming out November 7th. You can pre-order it. It's $499. Not a bad price for what you get. The performance is pretty justifiable when it comes to $499. It's actually very, very justifiable. It's kind of a bargain considering the amount of performance you get, but $499 is no small amount of money. I was hoping to see it in at $450, and that would be a little bit more competitive against the PS4 Pro, aka the PS4 Slow at this point. Because the Scorpio is the new king, basically. It's the new fastest console ever made. So that was okay. Metro Exodus looked amazing. Metro Exodus has me super hype. I can't wait to see it. It's not an exclusive. It's going to be on all the platforms, just like the other Metro games. So if you have a PS4 already, or if you plan on getting the Xbox One X, or you have an Xbox One, or you have a PC, you can play this game. And I'll put some footage of it in the background. It looks great. It looks like it's going to be a great game. Kind of got some BioShock vibes from it, which was kind of cool to see. So also from Microsoft show, Anthem. Now, this is also not an exclusive game. This is by EA BioWare, makers of Mass Effect Andromeda, and it looks like they got their facial animations under control now, finally. This time we're not going to have any sort of strange gasps or random creepy facial animations that Mass Effect Andromeda had, but honestly, I kind of like them. I think they're hilarious, but some of those glitches are really funny. So I've seen some extremely, extremely ridiculous glitches just from playing that game. But Anthem looks like a cross of Halo, Titanfall, and Destiny, all rolled up into one futuristic open world baby. And it looks crazy. The graphics were off the chain. Top notch, definitely looked 4K. Not sure about the frame rate. I doubt that this thing is going to be able to hit 4K 60 FPS on much. Definitely not on consoles. I'm guessing probably not on most PCs either. This thing was graphically really pushing it. It looked very demanding graphically. So Microsoft's conference was not all bad. If I had to give it a number rating out of 10, I'd probably give it a 7. Not so bad, not so great. Lots of random indie titles that I didn't really care about. Some looked cool, but all in all, I'd give them a 7 out of 10. Now I'm going to go on to the most disappointing part of E3 2017. Sony's conference. Man. Okay, so they started off big with Days Gone. I thought Days Gone looked great. I've been following the game for a while. I've talked about it before in some videos that I've made, and it looks great, and it still looks great. It's going to be a day one buy for me, for sure. What did not look great, however, was basically everything else other than Days Gone. Detroit Become Human looked pretty good. God of War looked pretty good. Not as good as last time, but looked pretty good. And Spider-Man. Spider-Man looked unbelievable. Spider-Man almost saved the show for Sony. Spider-Man almost saved the show. That was pulse pounding. I think it's like 20 minutes worth of action that you got to see with the Spider-Man gameplay reveal, and it did not disappoint. But what did disappoint was what was not at Sony's conference. So first off, what was not there was any serious, real PSVR game. Man, my PSVR was watching this conference during the PSVR sections, and it was crying and holding itself in the corner. It was so sad. Sony is not taking the PSVR seriously, and I feel like I got cheated out of some money by buying it. It sucks. I've had good experiences on it, but it is definitely entry-level, budget-oriented VR, and it definitely does not have the backing that it should have, because it has potential. So, disappointed as hell in the PSVR games that they showed. They were worthless. And then also, Where was The Last of Us 2 at this whole show? Where was The Last of Us 2? So even in the thumbnail on YouTube for the PlayStation Live channel to view this, it had Ellie playing the guitar from The Last of Us 2 trailer from last year. It had that. And Kratos. We got Kratos. We got to see God of War. Did The Last of Us 2 just not feel like coming into work today? I don't know. Naughty Dog had another game there, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. But no Last of Us 2. Now, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Let me know if you guys know something, because I was very disappointed to not see that game there. Very disappointed. The Last of Us 2 might be my most anticipated title that's an exclusive PlayStation title coming out anytime within the next few years. That's my most anticipated game besides Death Stranding. And I gotta say, The Last of Us 2, I'm looking more forward to that than anything else. So really disappointed. I thought that maybe they were trolling there for a second. I was waiting for, the Last of Us guitar theme to start playing or something, but it never happened, man. It never happened. If it did, I missed it. I watched the whole show though, I thought. So super disappointed about that. Bethesda had a really good showing. The Evil Within 2 looks terrifying in all the best ways. That comes out this year, Friday the 13th. Great release date for a horror game. Looks very psychological. Gives me some Silent Hill vibes, which is awesome. So really excited about The Evil Within 2. And also, man, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. What can I say about this game? Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus looks like the most patriotic Nazi killing zombie fest game that I've ever seen. So this, first off, graphically, this trailer was amazing. The gameplay parts of this trailer were top notch. They blew me away watching them. I was visibly impressed. I had a smile on the whole time. It looks so good. And moreover, just it looks like it's not going to take itself too seriously, which I really appreciate, because a game like Wolfenstein at this point, it can't take itself too seriously. It's got that sort of zany vibe to it. And man, it looks great. Also, very, very excited that they announced a new Dishonored game. Dishonored Death of the Stranger, I think, is what it's called. And if you haven't played Dishonored as a series, you are missing out as a gamer. You need to check out Dishonored. It is great. Currently playing through Dishonored 2 and could not be happier with it. It is a great game. So Wolfenstein 2, Dishonored, Death of the Stranger, and The Evil Within 2. Bethesda had a very strong showing with those games, and also showed off some VR. They showed off some Fallout 4 VR. I'm going to touch on that in another video, but if you're interested, look up some footage of that in the search bar on YouTube. If you're into VR, I have a feeling that Fallout 4 VR is going to be a must-have title. And they also announced Doom VFR, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to play Doom in VR. I can hardly play it otherwise because it's so intense. So playing it in VR might give me a hernia or something. Also having a strong showing was Ubisoft. I want to talk mainly about Far Cry 5. I think Far Cry 5 sort of reminded me of Wolfenstein 2 in a lot of ways. It had very Americana vibe to it. It sort of reminds me of the Far Cry that involves trailer parks and like meth labs, and it's a really interesting mix. It's awesome to see a Far Cry set in America and maybe against like an extremist cult. I'm really hoping it doesn't get too political, but from what the game looks to be about gameplay-wise, Far Cry games are typically very solid. They're very good experiences. They're great first-person shooters, and I'm really hyped to see more of this game. It looks like it could be a ton of fun graphically. It looks awesome. Far Cry games always typically kind of push the limits of the hardware they run on, so all in all, I gotta say that my number one highlight of the show was the Xbox One X reveal. Probably Days Gone is also up there on that top 3. And then Wolfenstein 2. It brought the hype. It brought the hype to an otherwise abysmal showing. Abysmal E3. It just was not a good E3 this year. I'm sorry. I know that's probably an unpopular opinion. I don't like to be negative, but E3 this year just kind of left a foul taste in my mouth, especially there not being The Last of Us 2. That was my biggest thing, was no Last of Us 2. You know, I mean, Sony, you lost me there. So in the comments, if you could, let me know how you felt about E3 this year. If you disagree with me, if you agree with me, if there was something you saw that I maybe didn't mention that you liked, and if there was something that I liked that you disliked, let me know that too. I'm open for criticism. So, and also if anyone knows anything about The Last of Us 2 that I maybe didn't mention, or why it wasn't at the show in general, leave that in the comments too, because I'm very curious to see that. Thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't like the video, and please subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this. My name is Gerber, signing out. Thank you.